Coming up, we have the latest on the couple found dead in their state college home. And we take a closer look at what caused a drop in Army recruit.
Plus, how community members and students joined to create a day of fun for Thon families.
We just wanted it to be fun for the kids, like experience all different adventures that life has to offer.
The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Will Desitel.
And I'm Samantha Rank. Thanks for joining us. We begin with breaking news. House Democrats have announced 2 articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump today for alleged abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The president is responding by saying he did nothing wrong. Reporter Courtney Allen takes a look at the timeline of events in the impeachment proceedings.
In August, a whistleblower filed a complaint with the intelligence community's inspector general that centered around a phone call between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The complaint alleged that Trump was using his office to solicit information about a political opponent, Joe Biden.
Facts are clear. The Constitution is clear. The president violated the Constitution.
Last week, Nancy Pelosi announced that the House Judiciary Committee has been instructed to move forward with drafting the articles of impeachment.
I think a lot of this is motivated by politics. I think the Democrats want to be able to run against an impeached president. I think that significantly enhances their chances of a Joe Biden presidency.
Some would say otherwise.
If we really respect the presidential seat and if we really respect our country enough, then we should all be on the same line here.
In September, the whistleblower complaint was declassified, showing the complaint involved Trump in communication with a foreign leader and a promise. On September 20th, Trump acknowledges he asked Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden's son. In the context of the call, it was mentioned once that Trump said, "Could you look into this?" October 31st, the House voted to formalize the impeachment inquiry, and as of December 5th, the House Judiciary has begun drafting the articles of impeachment.
Because people realize it's a total hoax. We had a perfect conversation. It was only a conversation. Nothing came out of the conversation except good relationship with Ukraine.
The House Intelligence Committee report found that Trump engaged in quid pro quo with Ukraine and obstructed the impeachment inquiry. I'm Courtney Allen for the Center County Report.
Voting is expected in a few days in the Judiciary Committee and by Christmas in the full House.
A handful of Democratic presidential candidates will be in Pennsylvania this week to discuss topics related to public education. At this point, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, Tom Steyer, and Elizabeth Warren will attend the Public Education Forum on Saturday in Pittsburgh. Topics up for discussion include special ed, student debt, education equity, and teaching conditions in public schools. 11 different candidates are now running for State College interim mayor. At the most recent Borough Council meeting, each of the candidates had 5 minutes to speak about their qualifications and answer questions from the public. The council will vote next Monday on the new mayor. That's the same day current Mayor Don Hahn's resignation will be effective.
The coroner's office says it may be weeks before the cause of death is released for a couple found dead in State College. Police arrived last Wednesday to their home on West Prospect Avenue and found Hal and Natalie Halleck dead. They say there was no sign of violence or foul play. Hal graduated from State College High School and Penn State. He was a substitute teacher for many years in the Center County School Districts as well. Social media filled with remembrance posts by community members. The couple was active in the community.
Big news just came out today from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation's Central Appalachian Habitat Stewardship Program. More than $1 million in funding is coming to conservation programs in 6 mid-Atlantic states, including Pennsylvania. Reporter Aaron Kemp is live at Shavers Creek in Petersburg with more about the new grants. Aaron?
That's right, Will. A grant aimed at restoration and improvement in the Appalachian regions was announced here today at Shavers Creek Environmental Center. The grant is for $1.5 million and will benefit parts of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Virginia. The money will help support diverse bird and wildlife species in public and private forest lands. The goal is to improve the management of public and private forest lands, to create mixed-age forests that support wildlife species and help populations of fish, mussels, and salamanders.
The vision of the center is to ensure the health and the vitality of forested landscapes by continuously improving the health and vitality of private forests.
The Central Appalachia Habitat Stewardship Program has been awarding funding since 2017. Shavers Creek Environmental Center is part of Penn State's experimental forest and operates on 7,000 acres of land. Since 1976, it has acted as a field lab for Penn State students and visitors. Live at Shavers Creek, I'm Erin Kemp for the Center County Report.
Thanks, Erin. A recent report released by Mission Readiness, Pennsylvania, found a significant decrease in the number of young people prepared to join the military. Caitlin Aguilas has the story.
Joining the military is hard work. A person must meet specific physical and academic benchmarks. But, according to Workforce Readiness, the national security threat from within, 71% of people between the ages of 17 and 24 do not qualify for military service. Among the reasons, dropping out, drug abuse, criminal history, and obesity. Obesity disqualifies 31% of youths from serving, and now the Army Combat Physical Test is much harder.
The name states, the Army Combat Physical Test, right? Before it was the fitness test. So if you look at just push-ups, sit-ups, and run, a 2-mile run, which is what we used to do, it didn't really test the overall soldier, whereas this new physical test tests all your abilities.
It's designed to see how ready soldiers are for combat. It tests strength, power, agility, flexibility, balance, and endurance. All soldiers have to take it, but the job they'll be doing is considered.
We also take physical fitness tests to make sure that we stay within the standards. We have height and weight standards that we have to adhere to as well.
To get on the right track, the report prepared for Mission Readiness, Pennsylvania, stresses the need for investments in high-quality childcare and early childhood education, stressing both academics and fitness. Governor Tom Wolf says fighting to keep Pennsylvania competitive is a priority.
I am committed to making investments in education at all ages to help ensure that we provide Pennsylvanians with the skills needed for every open job, and that includes positions in the Pennsylvania National Guard, as well as all branches of the military.
In State College, I'm Caitlin Aguilas with the Center County Report.
Mission Readiness is a nonprofit group made up of retired military officials. It encourages physical and mental fitness among young people with a goal of strengthening national security.
The opposition to cutting 3 Pennsylvania minor league baseball teams is growing as lawmakers are joining in the fight. The State College Spikes are one of 42 minor league teams facing potential cuts from the MLB, and lawmakers are teaming up to challenge this plan. A bipartisan Save Minor League Baseball Task Force is being formed. It will advocate on behalf of the communities affected by any cuts. Governor Tom Wolf and State College Mayor Don Hahn are among those who sent MLB letters speaking out against the cuts. A Pennsylvania university is one of many schools around the country beginning to adopt a sport that's skyrocketing in popularity. I traveled to Harrisburg to find out more. eSports is one of the fastest growing industries in the nation. At Harrisburg University, they've created a varsity eSports program that is very similar to any college varsity sport.
These are all on scholarship. They have practices after class. We'll practice anywhere from 2 to 4 hours depending on the night.
Harrisburg's program has 26 players on full scholarship, and it is the only varsity sport at the university. Players are divided into 2 teams that play either Overwatch or League of Legends. Last year's Overwatch team won the national championship in its first year as a varsity program.
They're really open to ideas, and they're always pushing the status quo. They're always looking to innovate and be first in the industry, and you see it in a lot of things we're doing.
Among those innovations are this $2.5 million practice facility built last September, as well as hiring 2 former professional players to the coaching staff. But Harrisburg is just one of many schools around the country over the past year that is invested in esports. In September of 2018, Harrisburg became just the 50th school in the country to adopt a varsity esports program. Now, 1 year later, there are 169 schools all across the country with varsity esports programs. Smelt says that people of all ages are beginning to play esports nowadays. That, combined with streaming platforms such as Twitch that give people a way to see esports anytime they want, have made esports a smart investment for colleges.
I think that you're going to see a large demographic of colleges realize that esports is something that caters to multiple different types of audiences, and that becomes very attractive for that reason.
How much esports will grow remains to be seen, but players point to one advantage esports has that other sports do not.
All the games change so often, so it always stays fresh. In terms of traditional sports, they don't really change the rules ever. Every year, they release like a big set of changes, and it completely changes your role.
In Harrisburg, I'm Will Desitel for the Center County Report. The Harrisburg team will resume practice in January after the holiday break.
Coming up, will the rain finally move out later today? Casey is here with the forecast.
Plus, a closer look at dealing with grief over the holidays. Also coming up, we'll take a look at how families of kids with cancer enjoyed a special day at Penn State. That's after the break. The holiday season is here, and for many people, that means a tough time of the year if they've lost a loved one. Reporter Talia Chiarello talked with a Penn State student who knows firsthand how difficult grief can be.
Michael Sneff is a typical college student, always on the go and always keeping busy. But last year, some devastating news stopped him in his tracks.
On March 19th, 2019, my father passed away. Suddenly, I got a call from my mom that he had passed away in his sleep the previous night. And obviously, I came right home and dealt with that.
He remembers the shock, but says he was so busy the grief never hit him in the week after his father died. Now, things are different.
As a student, holding the weight of a grief this massive, you're succeeding if you just get out of bed every day.
Sneff recognized what was happening and posted a video on Instagram to let others know what he was going through and to encourage a larger message.
Be patient with people, because you really do never know what someone is going through. And call your parents. I wish I could call my dad right now.
Sneff keeps the memories of his dad alive during the holiday season.
He worked in a pediatric hospital in the HR department, and he would visit the pediatric patients in costume, and they would, ask Santa what they wanted and things like that, and I was so proud of him for doing that.
It has been 8 months since Michael's father passed, so it is the year of firsts without his father, which is very hard during the holiday season.
Yeah, Christmas is going to be tough, I think, for sure. And so will Thanksgiving, and so will every time we have a first.
Dr. Christy Beck says families can help each other cope as a unit during the holidays.
For them to just be able to lean on each other, thinking more about like a celebration of the person's life can be a way of having that person live on even when they're not here anymore.
Michael Sneff continues to carry on his father's legacy today.
And I don't know what came over me, but I saw an ad for it and I said, I want to run a 5K. And my mom looked at me and said, "You're going to do what?" She said, "You don't run, ever." I had kept a photo of my dad. I hold up the picture as I cross the finish line. And once I crossed the finish line, I burst into tears. Throughout the race, when I was discouraged, I just kept saying, "Do it for Dad, do it for Dad." I'm where he wanted me to be. And I think that's what carries me through in a lot of these situations, is that I'm exactly where he wanted me to be. And I know he's looking down on me. And I know he's proud. And I'm going to continue to make him proud.
In University Park, I'm Talia Chiarello for the Center County Report.
For grief counseling, Penn State students can reach out to the Health Center's CAPS program or HER clinic. State College also has a number of therapists and support groups for people seeking help during the holiday season.
90 Thon families celebrated a day filled with dancing, games, and adventure over the weekend at Penn State. Reporter Jerome Taylor has the story.
Thon families and volunteers came together for the Family Carnival on Sunday. The event allows Thon families to have a day filled with games, arts and crafts, and karaoke.
We want this to be a day that the families can come and just celebrate with Thon volunteers and their paired organizations and have a fun day, just be kids.
Thon's special event organization created 4 different adventure stations. Children could visit the Wild West, the jungle, the ocean, and space that coincided with the event's lifetime adventure theme.
We just wanted it to be fun for the kids, like experience all different adventures that life has to offer.
One of the major goals for this year's carnival was to cater to every age group.
One of the inclusive efforts made by this year's carnival was the addition of a teen lounge, which allows teenagers to have their own exclusive space to enjoy the carnival on their own terms.
So making sure that every kid and family, no matter how old or young they were, felt like this event was for them and that they were having fun at it.
At the end of the event, the Thon 2020 logo was revealed. In University Park, I'm Jerome Taylor for the Center County Report.
Thon kicks off next year on February 21st at the Bryce Jordan Center.
Who wants to play a game of Find the Front? If this temperature gradient right here doesn't convince you along the eastern United States, maybe this next graphic will. We have some rain stretching all the way from New England down to Texas, even some areas dealing with some snow right now. Here in Pennsylvania, this is strictly rain. It's kind of been a wet and dreary past 24 hours. Overcast skies, those rain droplets are finally gone from our Beaver Stadium camera. It is 50 degrees and winds are out of the west at 16 miles an hour. Now look at this. You can actually see the temperature difference here in Pennsylvania where that front has already passed through. Western Pennsylvania, much cooler than down in the southeast. So don't worry, Philly and the capital region, your temperatures will be changing soon. You'll be able to ditch the umbrellas here over the next couple of hours if you are in eastern Pennsylvania, and even some lake effect snow showers for parts of the northwest. Otherwise, we're just dealing with some cloud cover here in Center County. These clouds will continue to move out, leaving to a very sunny day on Wednesday, even Thursday, maybe some more snow showers up in parts of northwestern Pennsylvania. Otherwise, we'll be dry over the next couple of days. Our high temperature occurred really early this morning, around 3 a.m., 55 degrees. Other than that, temperatures will be falling even to the mid-30s by lunchtime. Tonight, we will be in the mid-20s, about 25 as our low. Even a snow shower might even pass through Center County later on tonight. And then tomorrow, big difference, 32 as our high for tomorrow, becoming sunny. The next 7 days, really not much to talk about until this weekend when that next system comes through. Maybe some rain and snow Friday into Saturday.
All right, Casey, thank you as always. Let's send it over to Mitch with sports.
Thanks, Will. Coming up, the latest on Penn State football, from the bowl game to a coach who's leaving. Also coming up, Penn State women's volleyball advanced in the NCAA tournament after a successful weekend sweep at Rec Hall. All of that and more in sports after the break. Good afternoon, my name is Mitch Stewart. Penn State football is officially Dallas bound. On Sunday, the Nittany Lions found out their bowl destination and opponent. They'll be heading to Texas to take on the 17th ranked Memphis Tigers in the Cotton Bowl. This is Penn State's fourth appearance in the Cotton Bowl. Their last was in 1975 when the Lions beat Baylor. Meanwhile, James Franklin isn't leaving Penn State anytime soon. The head football coach and university came to an agreement that will keep Franklin at Penn State on a 6-year contract through 2025. The terms have not been released yet. Franklin reacted to the news on Twitter following the announcement, saying, quote, "It's not often a coach gets an opportunity to move back to their home state and coach the team they grew up watching." A major piece of Franklin's coaching staff will look different when Penn State travels to Dallas at the end of the month. Offensive coordinator Ricky Ronnie accepted the head coaching position at Old Dominion University yesterday, ending a 9-year run on Franklin's staff dating back to their time at Vanderbilt. Ronnie had served as Penn State's offensive coordinator over the last 2 seasons. After a blowout win over Wake Forest last week at the BJC, Penn State men's basketball suffered a road setback on Saturday, falling to number 6 Ohio State. Tonight, they're back at home against another tough team, against 4th-ranked Maryland. The Lady Lions basketball team hits the road this weekend on a 2-game winning streak. They play at Princeton on Saturday. Penn State is coming off a 78-73 win last Thursday night at the BJC against the Pitt Panthers. Kamaria McDaniel dominated everyone on the court. She finished the game with an eye-popping 40 points. That's the most by a Penn State Lady Lion since 2011. The Panthers came back strong in the second half, but Penn State finished the job in the closing minutes.
Yeah, I guess right now myself and my staff are really just focusing on teaching. You know, this is a group that needs a lot of it, and so we're pouring into our players.
The Lady Lions are now 5-4 overall. Penn State women's volleyball is moving on in the NCAA tournament after winning its first 2 games over the weekend. Reporter Zach Smith has more.
The Nittany Lions are moving on to the NCAA regional semifinals after a dominant weekend. Penn State improved to 26-5 on the season, losing only 1 set in 2 games. After sweeping the Princeton Tigers on Friday, the Nittany Lions took on the Towson Tigers. They lost the first set 25-22, but rebounded to take the next 3 sets 25-16, 25-17, and 25-20. Joni Parker led the team with 19 kills, while Serena Gray had 7 blocks. For the Nittany Lions, there were plenty of aces to go around. They finished with 11 aces, including 3 from Lauren Clark and Brooklyn Hill. Head coach Russ Rose recognized how difficult it is to beat an out-of-conference team like Towson.
Teams that are really good are good, and they play hard and they play with pride, and certainly Towson was reflective of that.
Penn State now prepares for the 27-6 Cincinnati Bearcats this week. They're coming off wins against VCU and the 6th-ranked Pittsburgh Panthers in their first 2 games. This will be the first time the 2 teams have played against each other in the tournament since 2003. In University Park, I'm Zachary Smith for the Center County Report.
The Nittany Lions will be in Stanford, California on Friday night for their Sweet 16 game against Cincinnati. That's all for sports. We'll be back with more after this break.
The holiday season is all about traditions, and reporter Bailey McBride caught up with members of Center County's Historical Society to learn about one of their favorite traditions.
Welcome. Come on in.
As soon as you enter the Center Furnace Mansion, you can tell right away it's been turned into a winter wonderland for the 17th annual Stocking Stuffer event.
The mansion is so beautifully decorated.
This magical holiday market features fresh holiday floral arrangements and local artisans selling unique homemade gifts for the upcoming holidays. The event started with a couple of vendors 17 years ago and now features more than 50 local artisans and dealers.
And multi-level experience is a perfect way to describe it.
Holiday traditions have been an important part of Center County for decades. Events like this would not be possible without dedicated community members and volunteers.
We have volunteers that contribute well over 1,000 hours.
Proceeds generated from the $5 admission fee and donations that help offset costs benefit the society, local artisans, and educational programs in the community.
And this generates about 20% of our operating budgets.
For the Center County Report, I'm Bailey McBride.
You can find details on upcoming events at the Center County Historical Society's Facebook page.
Side note, the Center Furnace Mansion holds a special place in Penn State's history. They signed the document to start the Farmers High School of Pennsylvania there. That school eventually became the Pennsylvania State University.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yep. That's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at Center County REP, or on our Facebook page. We also have a Center County Report Instagram. Join us on Friday for our next newscast. Have a good day.
We hope you enjoyed watching the video. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you did.
For the rest of our newscasts and featured stories, click here.
And for sports, click here. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.